It's an interesting one because when I first started teaching, it wasn't actually media as such. I started with it on graphic design background. That's what my degree was in. So it was various aspects of graphic design. I actually started over at the Art College, Middlesbrough Art College, in 1990. It's a long time ago. 1990, and that one was a group called the Printing Task Force. Now, what was interesting about that, it was all like kind of different aspects of graphic design. We had to do things like typography and illustration. It was kind of an extension of what I'd done for my degree. What I didn't realise, what this task force printing was all of these boys and girls that had been kind of shipped out to schools from County Durham because they were too rough and too unruly to teach anywhere else, you see. So I thought this was like a typical class. So when I went in, one lesson, for instance, they started throwing scalpels at each other. They had to hold up a drawing board like a big shield. And then another time somebody tried climbing out the window and we were on the first floor. You know, so it was quite lively. But after that, after the initial kind of initial kind of shock, it was okay and it was fine teaching after that. So in 1990, it's 24 years. Well, like I say, it wasn't media at first. That when I started at the Art College, and that was with kind of graphic design, come a bit on printing. And then the Art College had got a strong link with, as it was then, Longlands College. And they used to have teachers working at the Art College and working at Longlands College. And I was working part-time, a few hours a week. So I started off working a couple of hours a week at the Art College and a little bit at Longlands. And then the course, that task force course that I was teaching, it got dropped after the first year. So I was left with just a couple of hours over at Longlands. So that kind of grew and grew and grew. But the course I was teaching there was still graphic design. It's called BTEC Design Audio Visual. And there was a media course going, which at the time had a little bit of TV in, but it was mainly theory. And then they had a big shake-up of all the BTEC courses in the mid-90s. And my course, my design course, disappeared and became part of this BTEC media course. So we made it more practical. So we took on the video part and we brought in photography as well. What's interesting about it is that it's always new, there's always something developing. When I was before Middlesbrough College, because I've been working in FE in lots and lots of different colleges which took over and became the next college, you know. So I was working at the Art College with its links with Longlands College. Longlands College merged with Martin's Sixth Form, became Teesside Tertiary College. Teesside Tertiary College merged with Kirby College and became Middlesbrough College. Middlesbrough College moved here where we are now. Right? So there's lots of different bosses, except that he's me still here. And what's interesting is not so much that kind of corporate takeover, but the way I've seen media develop over the years. So from about '96, for instance, I was the first person in all of the Northeast, in fact, to start using Photoshop. So I did the very first Photoshop course and the very first desktop publishing courses. And we were the first place in the Northeast to be on the internet. Bit different in those days. We had to hook up to a server. The nearest server was in Edinburgh. And there was only 2,000 people in Britain on internet. But it was, you know, so we were like ahead of everybody else. But to see these changes and these new developments is what kind of kept us interested all the way through the 90s. And now, okay, there's maybe not as many quick changes in use of digital technology and it's more commonplace, but now you realise that with all this experience under your belt, that you've got all these different ways of getting people to learn, and you've got this enthusiasm as well as the kind of experience. You've got this enthusiasm, of getting these people through lots and lots of different ways to show it. It's a bit of everything really. At the moment, this year, I'm teaching, let me see, desktop publishing and DVD authoring and photography and video. Let me see, the Arts Award. I'm doing 2 lots of the Arts Award. Bit on web design multimedia. So it's all in 1 week. This multimedia production management, working to a brief, digital graphics, and animation. But in previous years, on top of that, I've also taught, let me see, web management and graphic narrative and design and comics. Did a bit on video conferencing 1 year. We've done a bit on computer graphics. Taught music technology 1 year. It's easy to say what I didn't teach really, because if there's a computer at one end and there's something to do with media on the other, I'll be there somewhere.
I think he's a good teacher, because like he's always happy. If you need help, like he'll explain things in a different way for you. and it's just easier because like he like if you don't know something he'll come over and explain it and things like that, like, and if you don't understand things in a certain way, like he'll like try and explain it differently so like each person knows what they're doing, and like he's always smiling, he makes everyone laugh, so it's quite funny actually.
Kevin is really a fantastic professional teacher where he actually delivers the information into your head, and which really like even teach you in a funny and nice, entertaining way where you don't really get bored of his lessons.
Like shows, say if we're doing like stop motion, you know, like shows like different examples and things on YouTube, and like we'll go have a look and like do like research and things in different ways.
The fact that he delivers all the assignments in the right way will make you understand it and even help you go through it, you know, so